So, hello gang, we're back, and this is Dr. Experience. Say hi.
Hello, just call me Dr. X.
No problem. Here you go. And I am Sanjay Paul, and we're here to talk about friendships. Now, you might see that I have one or two other video clips. I think I did them about a year and a half ago.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But what we're doing is we're updating the video, and I'm getting Dr. Experience's points on long-term friendships, being that tell everyone how old?
I am 58.
Isn't that amazing? And so, obviously now I'm in my late 30s, so it's nice to get a different perspective on friendships.
Now, are we basically talking about the man-woman relationship or
any kind of friendship. So one of the things that I've noticed too, I had a good friend, real good friend, like a close friend, we joke and we say he's like a half-brother, or soulmate friend, kind of. You know, people will say that. I've had female friends say the same thing about their lady friends. But there's a guy that I've known for, well, now it's been about 24 years.
Wow.
So that's, older
that's a long friendship.
That's older than some of my students that I have that I teach. Yeah, so it's a long friendship, and what I told him is that he's one of the most caring friends that I've had. So it doesn't mean that I don't have other friends that are caring with him, but you start appreciating a lot of those things that these people are there no matter what. It's like, or you'll have those periods where you're not talking as much because you're busy with other things.
Sure, but you reconnect. Yes. When you get together, it's like you've never been apart.
Yes, and that's a very good. I've had he's invited me over for Thanksgiving. I've been over at his family's for Thanksgiving, and I have another close friend in the past. I've been over there. I have different Thanksgiving dinners.
It's like the people that have been friends since kindergarten.
Yeah,
and they're still friends as adults.
Yes, yes. So it's those same types of things. This friend I met in high school, and I remember just a few years ago I stopped by his house. I put a nice painting at the door. I didn't wrap it, but I think I put a card there, and I left a painting for the family just so they could have it in the wall and kind of to remember. Not necessarily they had to, but just to kind of like, hey, I'm a friend of the family.
Sure.
And let me ask you, so what have you noticed that have been the secrets of quality friendships? I've noticed that you don't have to struggle, but you got to be attentive to your friends.
Yes.
What do you think?
There's friendship, and then there's the acquaintances you call friends. I think a lot of friendships are built initially on enjoying the same type of activities. You meet friends in sports. You meet friends in your neighborhood as a kid that you connect with, whether you enjoy playing baseball, football, when I was a kid, collecting baseball cards. In school you connect. Look at the different cliques, because people they sort of go toward each other when they have something in common. The loners go together, the quiet people. Then you got the in crowd, and then you got the athletes, the jocks, and you got the cheerleaders. So they all have something in common. Now, whether that friendship stays a lifetime, like in the case of you and your friend, that's another thing.
Well, the thing is, friendships, and again, this is a soul contracting pre-birth planning session, that you know a lot of the people that you're going to hang out if they're going to be around for a while or not.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is people come into and out of your life as it's almost like there's this comparison. I've often used it and said this, and a lot of other people have talked about it, like they're characters in a play. They come in and out of your life like, oh, this person's here now, and then this person's coming back at another point. They might come back, or they might be gone permanently, but you're there to teach each other or be with each other as friends in whatever capacity as you can help them, and then that's okay. So you don't have to obsess about, oh, why is this person no longer my friend? In high school, a lot of people are self-conscious about this. Oh my goodness, a lot of your identity issues are getting sorted out, like Erickson's fifth stage, identity versus role confusion. James Marcia, the identity model there, right? You have identity diffusion, identity foreclosure, identity diffusion, moratorium, and identity achievement. So what I found is becoming the best person that you can be allows you to meet friends. Like we're, for example, friends, would you say? So, like you said, we mainly connected in the gym.
In the gym, right.
But we have a similar outlook, and some of the other topics that we're going to film.
Sure, because positive people are attracted to each other.
And negative people too, right?
Oh yes, very, because negative people feed off each other. The old saying, I want them in the same boat I'm in. And back to your earlier statement about people coming in and out of your life, they always say one door opens, another one closes.
Yeah, so somebody comes into your life.
Yes. How many times did you have golf buddies or something, but they get married or they move on, and then you establish new golf buddies or new people in the gym? It's just on and on. I mean, basically, you're always meeting new people.
Well, it's interesting you bring this up because one of our other conversations is that the friends reflect, in many cases, not always, but where you are in life, where if you're not married and you don't have kids, then you're identifying with people that are in a similar situation.
That's right.
And the people that are married and have kids will still invite you over. Like there's some friends that won't, they're very committed to every area of their life, but there are others that they're going to connect with people that are.
Or if you've been married and you hang out with 3 or 4 other couples, you're a group, and you get divorced, you're sort of out of it. Especially if the woman's attractive, because the other wives don't want her hanging around.
Well, this is an excellent point, but Dr. Experience, I've also heard cases where they're still friends with the friends, or the husband's friends. I've heard of situations like that. Some will self-select themselves out.
Yeah.
Some will have no hard feelings, and they'll stay in touch with the in-laws. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the kids.
After my divorce, I was closer to my in-laws than my ex was, even though it was her own family.
But did you create new friendships?
Yes.
Or you kept those friendships, but...
Yeah, because they felt most of it was her fault. So they were very close. They always kept me close.
So do you think that, now what is this idea of, so as you get into a new relationship or you develop a new season in life, you're going to create new friends that are kind of where you are no matter what. Like it's like they like your thinking, like you said, but who you are is different. I often remind people that a year or two ago you didn't have the same friends. Some of your friends were the same, but if you notice you're talking to different people, like I didn't know you like a couple years ago. Like I wasn't even at this gym 2 years ago.
Right, sure.
So I stopped by like 4 or 5 years ago. I stopped by for a trial, but then later on I joined this one and I belong to another one. But it's exactly like you're going to have people coming into your life. And there's a flow in life that you kind of respond to.
Even in business, you can get a new boss, a new if you are the boss, new people under you. There's always change. Change is constant.
And it's okay to go with the flow.
It is. The flow. And the people that have the hardest time existing in this life with friendships are those that are not able to change.
So this gets into group identity versus alienation theory. There's a they talk about like isolation, and actually you have a clip on bullying. But some people might have been bullied when they're younger. I'm not trying to make excuses. It gets transferred to the workplace. They allow themselves to get bullied, or they feel easily offended. There could be any number of things. And I think one of the things that we got to keep in mind is the openness and receptivity comes from the willingness to take feedback, the willingness to be open to life and experience. That takes courage and confidence.
Yes, it does.
It takes a little bit of a willingness to...
Because people, all of us, don't like change. But a lot of times after it's changed, you get used to it, and you like it. But the initial change, and in this world, things are changing quicker and quicker.
Well, it's interesting you say this because professionally, I've taken risks with my profession in terms of leaving full-time employment, going into another one, then your budget cuts there, and then getting rehired or half as a contract employee, and then leaving that, and then trying my own thing to free up the time, and then I'm pursuing other opportunities now. But you do there's risks that get you to the next level, and you've got to be willing to embrace it, because if not, who you're going to meet, whether it's friends or otherwise, new co-workers, you won't be doing it if you don't put yourself out there.
Well, some of the most successful businessmen have had failure first, lost money, or your inventors. They failed. It's that persistence.
What keeps people going, and how does that relate to friendships and the mastermind groups and networks?
Wow, that's a good question.
Because if you fail, then what about the other people that are supporting you? Or should they fail along with you and understand? Or a lot of them, they never... What do you
well, say you're a guy pursuing a business, and you're already married with children, and you give up your average 9-to-5 job, if you want to say there's such a thing as a 9-to-5 job anymore, and you're making a good income, but you tell your wife, you know, there's something in my heart I want to pursue. I know I can do it, but we're going to have to take a hit financially, to downsize the home. The kids are going to have to do it less. That can cause stress on the marriage. So that wife of yours can be the friend that supports you, but then you need your other friends in life to support you too, that say you're not crazy doing this and doing less for your family while you achieve this.
Well, you were kind of reminding me of the story of Beyonce, and I hope that I have this story correct. His father worked, he had a corporate job at IBM, making great money, but he quit that to back his daughter. He had a nice home, and the dance lessons, he became her manager initially and helped her to get famous, and I know the mom did too. But yeah, when you have your whole family support and then the friends wanting you to succeed, that's great. There's also, you're reminding me of a case of the new musician, well, he's been around for a while, but he had some breakthroughs this year, Ed Sheeran. Sheeran. And I encourage you, if you have not heard of him, to check him out. He did the song Sing this year. He did, what is it, what's the other song? I mean, he has a bunch of hits. The one that sounds like Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On, there's another one. It's, you know what I mean?
Sort of the blues.
Yeah.
This early 70s sound of Motown.
Yeah, there's a soul sound that he has. It's called Touch of Something or Tough on Something. I forget the title, but it's amazing. And then he has a string of hits, but he said in one interview that he wrote 120 songs in 1 year. He performed 200 times, and he made friends. Now listen to this. He made friends by putting himself out there. So he said he was often, I encourage you to watch his, I mean, I was going to take notes. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get ready to teach acting, music, and dance students sociology.
No kidding. Wow.
So his lessons, I'm going to be talking about his life story. Mm-hmm. One of the things that he said is that he met people along the way. It's almost like divine. Like a lot of people even said, like in the blog below the interview, it's supposed to happen. He has his grounded English friends that he knew growing up. He says they keep him grounded. He made friends with celebrities. By putting himself out there, he met Jamie Foxx by playing in his club through a manager, and then they said, "Hey, I like the sound," and Jamie Foxx allowed him to record, stay at his place. He basically went from couch to couch, didn't have money a lot, but then he said there were periods where he was earning. Eventually, his music became so famous. Apparently, before he got signed, $500,000 of royalties on TuneCore, I think. Because, yes, so he now writes for One Direction, some of their songs. He's become very successful, but he made friends. He's friends with Taylor Swift. He's friends with other celebrities because he's grateful for the fact that they supported him, but he's a genuine, like, when I see him and listen to him, he's wise beyond his years. He's like 23, but his idea is that the person said, you have a lot of life experience. And he said, well, it doesn't seem like you are because you're 23. He said, well, I know it doesn't seem like I have. He said something to that degree, but he's made a lot of friends along the way. He says, but I've already been living on my own since 16. He had said 10 years, but actually, if he did the math, it's I think 7. So what he's basically saying is by going out there and meeting people, by doing what you want to do with your passion. A friend of mine, he's a Hollywood actor. He's been in some movie roles, and you might remember from an earlier video clip I talked about another actor. That's not the same one. This is a different actor where I talked about his film Children of the Corn. You might remember actually 1 year ago, almost to this date, 1 year and 3 months ago, with a friend of mine, Jason. If you want to see that clip, it's called Living Your Dreams. And we talk about how this guy just went to Hollywood to pursue his dreams. What this friend did is he had no support from his parents for this. His friends that at the time thought he was crazy, why are you going to do that? You know? What happens? He meets a core group of around 200 people. Wow. When he moves out to LA, and he's still close to them because they believed in him when nobody else did. All of a sudden, his friends from college, they said they saw him on TV. Now, he had minor roles and things, but enough for where people were watching the shows and, hey, I wanted to call you. Is that you on TV? He says, yeah, it is.
But those are type of guys, especially the first guy you mentioned, they didn't let the fame of those people intimidate them.
No, they did.
No.
They were crazy enough.
Dude, when I first started watching,
now, the one big thing in friendship and relationships is dealing with the man and woman relationship.
Explain.
Well, there's a lot of women that when you start dating, they just want to start out as friends. Of course, what's the big word men hate to hear when you've been in a relationship with a woman? They say, I just want to be friends. That's the end of a romantic or relationship situation.
Well, the research shows, now this is just the research shows, that if you want to friend zone somebody, technically you may find them subconsciously attractive enough to pursue it further. Now this is just the research.
But if you've already been in a relationship with them romantically in the full-blown relationship and they say, well, I just want to be friends, that's usually a pretty bad sign.
Yeah, well, they're also...
I'm not saying you can't still be friends, but as far as that romantic, serious relationship, it's pretty much going to be over unless you can convince that person.
Yeah, I think there's also situations you don't want to put yourself in. Like, I had a situation too where I felt more comfortable where a friend wanted to hang out. She wanted me to come over.
Yeah.
We could have like watched a movie. And
If you just start out with friends, that's totally different.
Her boyfriend was not in,
Uh-huh.
and was coming home later on. She says he'll be in around this time or that time. And they said don't. I said, but I'm a little concerned about what that might suggest.
Well, what it looks like.
What it looks like, but she says, no, he's very trusting because we have a relationship, and she understands. She says she understands what my male friends are. Now, I admire that because I've seen it the other way. I've seen it where they're very controlling.
Sure.
So I think finding that healthy balance and doing what you think feels right. So I think I would rather hang out with her if he was there. I don't want to.
And it is cool to have women friends, but
there's always that extra layer.
Yes, because we've been raised that way. Especially in my age group, where if you're with a woman, you think it should be a relationship, sexual, not just friends.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. And if you, like I said earlier, when you go out with it on a date, don't have those big expectations, you can just end up being friends. Or you just have a friendship relationship.
I think what I've noticed is, and I've made a lot of great female friends, that there's absolutely no romantic connection. It's not going to cross that line.
Sure.
But what we do is we enjoy each other's company.
Sure.
But the guy friends, they kind of know you and they kind of can back you up on the masculine side of things. But it's what you notice is whether you have male or female friends, as you get to know yourself, a lot of people don't know themselves, so they don't have a lot of experiences to draw from in terms, and that's why we're with Dr. Experience, to kind of see what do they like. For example, there's some people that I have a friend that's a world traveler. She just finished her doctorate, has hundreds and hundreds of friends. Like, these are the people that network, like that's their daily living. And she's always about inclusion. She's always about making people feel welcome. And she values me as a friend. I don't see her very often at all, but she's always traveling and stuff. But there will always be an invitation to hang out.
Sure.
So these kinds of people actually become very attractive in terms of, but she's already, like, for example, in a relationship, and obviously so, because there's a magnetism around. You have to almost be confident in your interests, your passions. And if you know yourself and you're open to the mystery of life and you can kind of draw a balance, then what happens is it creates a force that these people are drawn to you like moths to a flame or moths to a light. So people like, even when let's just talk about this fitness competition. Okay. You were asking for a while, and just to let you guys know, we're going to actually have a video clip in a moment on health and fitness, and we'll just talk a little bit about it here. I came in 2 out of 46. I was 2nd out of 46.
Which is outstanding.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I lost to the other guy by 3% body fat. But transformation-wise, my body looked very different. But this other guy that won, well-deserved, he lost a lot of fat, but the transformation was more dramatic in my pictures. A lot of people saw that. Like,
his was more just, since he was so big, just weight loss.
More of it was more weight loss, but he busted his butt.
He busted his butt.
So, and he won fair and square.
But you transformed the shape of your body.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's based on the essay. It's based on me at a comeback story. I kind of did, but not as dramatic maybe.
Sure.
But my before and after pictures, I felt the satisfaction from that. But where that's leading to is the friends I made along the way. Because I put myself into group situations that allowed me to, oh yes,
connect.
You were checking in on me. I met a lot of people in the gym classes. I consulted more with my nutritionist, my trainer. A lot of these things cost money, but a lot of the classes were free. Some of the boot camp, the kickboxing classes, the fight shape classes, the fight shape coach paid extra attention, helped me. So
the reason people connected with it, you would come up to some of us who weren't in the competition and say, "How did you look like that? What did you do to get your body to look like that?"
And I would ask you.
Yes, you would.
See? And that helped to lead, right? People want to help.
Yes.
And you believed that it was possible. You were one of the believers, and I believed it.
Sure.
But it was scary because I didn't know what it was going to look like. I had an idea because in college, and even like in the early 2000s, I've had like a lean body. But the idea is not to, we're going to talk about health and fitness in another clip, but the friends, people that are on a mission. You're doing something, even if it's not the same.
Isn't the gym addictive?
It's very addictive.
Isn't it? I mean, it's just not about looks. It's about being healthy, feeling good.
What can you do?
What can you do? And you know, this is the big thing about, we're worried in society about the 30 and under group who have been raised on video games and computers and the technology. You don't see the kids outside playing baseball and football. You know, your moms used to put you outside all day. You come in for lunch and dinner in the summer. You know, it's like there's a big concern about people's health, physical health. We have more ways of being, we have better medical technology, we have more ways of being fit, but we're not taking advantage of it.
Because you don't need to. We're in a post-industrial society driven by information services.
When I got out of high school, there were so many ways to make a living other than going to college. Nothing wrong with a college degree. But you have so many manufacturers. That's all overseas now. You could go into so many things. You had so many options.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Okay, getting back to the gym, this is an interesting point because you're right, the options are changing. But with the guy that won, and then his wife also who won, it's very compelling, and he had actually thanked me for his support, my support of him. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciated that.
He was a gracious winner.
Oh, he's a gracious winner, very supportive. We supported each other, but he had also been cycling 60 miles outside of the classes. So he put on a low profile where I was a little more obvious with my training. And but my point is, I made a lot of friends, just as you're talking about, and you have too, because of what is known as proximity, and there's also the propinquity effect. But the idea of constantly putting yourself into situations where you keep seeing people over and over again, and you have common interests, you're going to make friends.
And you know, there's a lot of people working out in the gym.
Yes.
And the way I've seen them make friends is the fact that when you tell them, or they ask you how old you are, and you tell them, they're like, wow, how did you manage to keep yourself in that kind of shape?
Oh, this is actually somebody we know from the gym, right here behind us. I think that's Lauren. I don't know for sure. Is that... Oh, no, it's not Lauren. I thought it was Lauren.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I thought it was... Well, she's one of the workers there.
Okay.
So, it was funny, speaking of... not the devil, but another thing that you mentioned, which is kind of interesting, is that so in the essay, you know, even though I was the second place winner, I went ahead and put all the people that I thanked, and that's actually what I did in the photo logs and the captions. I just went ahead and thanked people because that's really what I wanted to do. It wasn't about me because I knew it wasn't. Your friends will help you. There's instrumental friends and expressive friends.
But what I found, I've found women recently that I've met just as friends, wanting me to take them to the gym to help them get in better shape. And we're not in a relationship, but they're like, we feel you're experienced. I'm no expert in my mind. I just know what works for me over many, many, many years.
And they can introduce you to somebody, maybe somebody that they know.
That's true. And then back to the friends thing. The last lady I've been dating, we've gone out 3 times, but she says, let's not go real fast with this. She says, she said, I have found, and this was something she said that really hit home with me. She says, if you go too fast in your dating process with somebody or your relationship, it can fizzle out fast. Let it grow slowly. Don't rush it.
It helps to have that breathing room, doesn't it?
Yes, because all of a sudden, and it goes back to the fact of, and I've known this for years, and I haven't always practiced this policy, but it's true. The more you make yourself scarce, the more that person wants to try to be with you.
Yes.
If you're there and you are and this is for the young guys out there, and this is the truth. If you're
Tell them the truth, Dr. Experience. Get closer.
If you're that really, and I don't mean, when I say nice guy, I don't mean be a guy that beats women or anything like that, or just talks nasty to them, nothing like that. Be the gentleman. But if you're always there at their beck and call, and I guess maybe that seems like you're too needy, and you're always there for them, and when they call, and you're just being that good guy, maybe the way you think it should be, maybe the way it was raised, the way you were raised, they sort of take you for granted.
Well, let me ask you this.
It's if you don't maybe call for a while or seem a little disinterested, they're more attracted to you.
Well, this is interesting you say that, because that's more in dating situations, and we're talking about friendship situations. But I often would say that as well. That you want to make. I've read this from some relationship experts. They say basically act like you're busy. So, for example, don't make it sound like your weekend is entirely open. Make it sound like, well, I have this window available. I'm going to be hanging out with some friends or doing some other things. So you've got to make it look like you have things going on for you. But would that be true for friendship situations?
Yeah, because I know two women that are friends, and one of them was complaining to me recently that she didn't feel the other one was contacting her enough about doing things. She felt like she was doing things with other women. So that was making her more apt to want to try to get some time, friendship time with this woman. Because the other woman had removed herself a little, which causes a need to want to be with that person.
All right, so now this is going to be very interesting, because you're actually leading to another topic, which we'll pick up with in a minute.
I tend to lead you to other topics.
You sure do. So we're going to talk about friendships and networking groups and networks, and then I do want to get into the health and fitness and then life purpose discussions in the next period.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment. Let's say thank you to Dr. Experience.
Thank you for listening.